So some people could just be too thick, okay? So if you're the thickest, it's not good. You don't want to be too thick, okay? Not sure exactly where too thick is, but you don't want to be too thick. Coach Greg, and have you ever wondered what the difference between being slim, being thick, being slim thick, being thick, being thicker than last time, or just being fat? What is the difference? And what do people like? What do men prefer? Women? What do circles want? Seen so many videos on how to get a thicker body and what to eat to get thick, how to train to get thick. And remember, thick is spelled with at least 3 C's, and you have to pronounce it in a proper way. You can't say thick, that's an insult. You have to say thick, or thick, thick. You don't say it properly with the proper slang, it's an insult. If you go up to a woman and you say, "You're looking mighty thick," that's not good, that's bad, just slap in the face. But if you say, "Hey, you looking thick," if you say it with the proper pronunciation, oh boy, you did it good, you did a compliment, good job. And if you don't know what to say when you say you're looking thick, be sure to say, and to say it to announce, it's thick with 3 C's. If you say, "Hey, you're looking thick" with 3 C's, you can say it at the end. If you don't have that slam, you don't pronounce right, thick, you can say thick with 3 C's. You might even say 6 or 7 C's just to be safe. Okay, the more C's, the better the compliment. I have my own thoughts on how to define this, but I'm going to defer to the internet and watch a video. It's by DJ Small's Eyes 2, and it says, "What's the difference between slim thick and thick?" Posh gets honest here. By the end of the video, you're all going to know, are you thick or thicker or slim thick or really thick or slim, or what exactly are you?
Are you the thickest on IG?
No.
Not the thickest on IG?
No, I don't even want to be the thickest.
No. She's clearly upset, clearly offended by being called the thickest, okay? So usually, the more of something you are, the better. Like, are you hot? Yeah, I'm pretty hot, I'm good looking. Are you the hottest on IG? That'd be a huge compliment, the hottest. It means like more hotter than last time. Hotter than last time, hotter. That's a compliment. So if you're thick, if being thick is a good thing, then if you're the thickest, isn't that a good thing? But she was insulted. So clearly there's an appropriate amount of being thick, and then there's too thick and maybe not thick enough. But how do you know if you're thick enough, thicker, if you should get thicker, thinner? How do we know? Well, let's see if she can answer this for us.
Some bitches be too thick.
So some people could just be too thick, okay? So if you're the thickest, it's not good. You don't want to be too thick, okay? Not sure exactly where too thick is, but you don't want to be too thick.
Speaking of thick, what is your definition of the phrase thick?
Thick is like, it's 2 types of things. It's slim thick, which I think is the sexiest, and is thick.
I'm not sure if thick has 3 C's or not. If you are too thick, you only got 2 C's, maybe only 1 if you're extremely thick. We're not sure what it means, but don't get too thick. Be slim thick. And last I checked, when I was in school, it's called an oxymoron. When you're 2 opposite things at the same time, slim thick. Slim is like the opposite of thick. It's like being, hey, are you short or tall? I'm tall short. Are you short or tall? I'm short tall. Are you thin or fat? I'm thin fat. Are you a moron or a genius? I'm moron genius. It's like, you can't be both. It's an oxymoron. I believe that's the definition. ASCII, you might be mad at me, you might be respond, I don't know. ASCII, what is an oxymoron? Is this an oxymoron? Is thin, thick 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 an oxymoron?
Yep.
Thick, which is still sexy, but slim thick is the best.
Okay, I stand corrected. Thick is still sexy, just not as sexy as a slim thick. Okay, so you want to, so if you're training and eating, you should strive for being a slim thick and not a thick.
And slim thick is more of a small waist with a little hip and a butt.
Sounds like an hourglass figure. When I was a kid, we called that an hourglass, or perhaps curvy. And if you look at what an hourglass looks like, it literally goes like this, which is kind of like where the boobs would look like with the curvature at the top. And then it comes really thin, and then it comes out round again because it's slim in the center because it doesn't let the sand go through really quick. That's how the hourglass works. The sand slowly falls through the bottom where it's a larger opening at the bottom. An hourglass figure, that's the slim, thick, doesn't seem like a good definition. It's an oxymoron. Okay, doesn't really make sense. It'd be small waist thick, but I guess slim thick.
And then thick is still a small waist, but you got heavy everything at the bottom.
So thick, you got big hips, big glutes, big quads, and calves. It's all big downstairs. Well, that's what he said he wanted to be. He wanted to be all big downstairs.
You would put yourself in the slim, thick category?
Yeah, I'm small, but I just got a big old butt.
Okay, I wonder what it's like to be big. Imagine being a big, slim, thick. Imagine how hard that is on the lower back. I mean, you're so slim, not much support. It's a lot of weight to carry. I am a man. I don't know what it's like to have large breasts, but I can imagine it's hard on the lower back for playing sports, being physically active, and so on.
The phrase thick, is that a nice way or a positive connotation of maybe calling somebody fat?
Nope. He got it way wrong. Saying to someone you're thick is not like saying someone you're fat. Saying someone you're fat, that's an insult. Okay, when I call someone overweight, I say they're obese because I'm trying to define them medically as in having a body fat percentage above 33% or having a BMI above the ideal range that's medically been determined as being called obese, okay? Calling someone fat, that's just an insult. You're a fatso. That's an insult. It's insulting. Calling someone thick, it's meant as a compliment, and being fat is not the same thing as being thick, because being thicker doesn't involve having extra weight around the abdominal region. Okay, you're just magically blessed with not having fat cells in that area, okay? Genetics, you chose the right parents, you get to be slim thick or thick thick. You don't get to be fat thick. You're just lucky. Fortunate for you, yay!
Thick is, everybody want to be thick. Fat is fat, sis. Like, it ain't no difference. Like, I mean, you know what you is. Whatever you feel like you are. You feel like you thick, feel like you fat. But I feel like thick is thick.
Smart is smart, thick is thick, thin is thin. And I like her answer. She's like, look, you is what you is. You is what you wants to be. You wants to be fat, you fat. You want to be thick, you thick. It's in the eye of the beholder. You want to be what you want to be. I want to be a friggin' circle. Be what you want to be. You want to be a thick circle? Be a thick circle. You want to be a thin circle? Be a thin circle. Be what you want. Don't let people label you. You want to be thick? Call yourself thick. You want to be fat? Call yourself fat. Doesn't friggin' matter. It's what's on the inside that counts.
When it comes to being thick, is it a universal size or can it differ?
No, it's all kinds of thick going on right now, so I don't know.
Nope, there is not. There's all kinds of thick going on right now. There's all kinds of thick. There's thick all over the place.
Okay, I mean, everybody is shaped different and made different. Everybody got their own sexy thing about that. They thick.
Yeah, there's so many different kinds of thick going on. Everyone got their own thick going on. They got different size thick in different areas. Thick. Everyone got their own thick going on. You know, be proud of your own thick and own up to your own thick.
You know, you can have thick legs and be thick and have no butt. You can have big butt and no legs and be thick. Like, so it just depends.
I mean, you could be thick with no ass. You could be thick with big legs and no ass. You could be thick with big boob. You could be thick wherever you want to be thick. Only if guys can only be thick wherever they want to be thick. Unfortunately, it's not like that. And I'm talking about in the friggin' biceps. Well, every guy wants a thick biceps. Who didn't want the big biceps? We all want that.
Is it safe to say it's in the eye of the beholder?
Yep.
One
That's
person
exactly.
could look at somebody and say, oh, she's thick.
And one person will be like, girl, she's small. So, like, yeah.
So here's the problem what I see nowadays. We all want to be accepting of different sizes and body shapes. And so for a while, women were told you have to be thin. You need to be thin. All the runway models, they were size zeros. Then zero wasn't enough. No, zero wasn't small enough. Double zero. Oh, I'm a size 2. That's not small. You need to be a 0. So women were told you need to be thinner. It's thinner than last time. And enough was enough, and people got sick of it. And so it became less cool. When I was a kid, people liked thin. My friends all like thin. I was like, why y'all like girls that are so thin? Why does it have to be so thin? And then I got older and it became, hey, let's be more accepting of different bodies and let's accept thick. And all of a sudden more curves became more popular. And then the glutes became an epidemic of, you needs to have the biggest glutes on the planet. So all these women influence, so many female influencers saying there's so much pressure to be ripped and to be small and to be thin. I don't personally see that. I see the current trend is there's so much pressure to be a slim thick. We just defined that. That means to have an eensy teensy little tiny waist, but the glutes of someone 300 pounds. So you gotta have all freaking kinds of goodness downstairs, everywhere, be curvy everywhere, with an unrealistically massive glutes and an unrealistically tiny waist. So what then happens? We see it on Instagram. The girls with the freakiest genetics, they get the most followers, and all of a sudden people are like, I want to look like that. Only they can't. So they want to, but they can't, so they watch the videos. You need to eat this way. You need to diet this way. You need to train this way. And if you train and eat like me, you're going to get slim thick. But if you don't, you're just going to get thick, which is fat. You don't want to be fat because that's an insult. You need to be slim thick because thick isn't good. So people think they can do that. So they adjust their diets and training, and they think they can do this and that, and then they'll get slim thick. And that's what I want to be. I want to be like my Instagram role model, slim thick. But they can't. So then what happens? The surgery, of course. Drugs, of course. We get our Brazilian butt lifts. We get our injection of filler. We get hyaluronic acid filler injections. Who knows? I've seen plastic surgery shows, they're injecting anything in there. Cement, put whatever you want in there. Give me some ass implants. Inject something. Please make me have an ass. Oh, I don't want to work out. And even if I do, I can't get an ass like that. So put something in there so that I can get a slim thick. I know, take out a couple ribs. I know, buy 17 waist trainers, which in the old days was called a corset. And it'll shrink your waist down and put everything in your bum so that you have crazy proportions. You look like Barbie. That's what people are trying to look like. So it's never going to get better. It's always going to be an unrealistic view of what perfection is that no one can actually achieve. It's never normal. It's never just you. You is never good enough now, is it? But it is good enough. You're just letting other people's images influence you and make you think you have to look like that. But you don't. Yeah, you can see, you got the swipes, you swipe it down and you see the picture and you're like, wow, that's crazy. You can keep swiping, you can stop and look and say, well, that's interesting. I'm not gonna have to look like that. And I don't need to look like that to love myself. To like my body, I can swipe past it. Boop, boop, slim, thick, I'm just fat. I don't care. I'm just gonna be the best me that I could be. I'm gonna do some exercise, I'm gonna eat healthy, and whatever ends up happening, I'm gonna be happy with that. I want to be slim thick. You're never going to be slim enough in the stomach or thick enough in the other areas to be satisfied. Same when we get the lip fillers. Oh, I just want a little bit more lip filler. 3 years later, their lips are so big they can't breathe or eat. It starts small, and before you know it, there's no end. You're never going to be satisfied. You need to love yourself now because whatever you do cosmetically to the exterior is not going to change the inside. You think it is, you want it to, people go to tell you, oh yeah, once you look beautiful, you're going to be happy. Nope, it's not going to make any freaking difference. Spend your whole life chasing perfection and you get as close as you can, you're not going to be happy. Be happy now with how you look and then do whatever you can to look the way you want on top of that. It's just bonus, but you need to be happy with you as you are right now. GregDoucette.com for coaching, Greg Doucette, IB Pro. Hopefully you're slim enough and thick enough, and if you're not, stop trying to be. Blooping up 2 videos, be sure to watch one of those, and until next time, I am out. But you need to be happy with how you, oh my goodness, Gert. Backflips over there. You need to be happy with how you are right now and not wait till someday you look the way you think you should look.